So ja.
Ja.
Ja. Like ja. You speak French?
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah, that's a common thing here too.
One, two,
People
one,
think
two.
people are from Canada, they think French, but they mostly speak it on the East Coast.
East Coast.
Mhm.
So, sorry, your East Coast, citizens and fellow brothers, like they spoiled me. Because everyone I know, they speak a little French, except for my friend who lives there.
Yeah.
All right, so we are actually ready to start.
Parents strongly caution the following programs are intended for mature audiences over the age of 18. These programs may contain some material that many parents would not find suitable for children and may include intense violence, sexual situations, coarse language, and suggestive dialogue.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Let's Talk After Dark podcast, where anything goes and nothing's off the table. I'm Benny, with me as always,
Mav?
our special guest,
Xhalida.
Xhalida.
All right. First of all, follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Let's Talk Us Now. Let's see. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google, everywhere else. Watch us on YouTube. That's it, right? Did I miss anything?
That's it.
All right. So let's get
So
started.
far, let's get started. Let's shout out to our special guest too. And by the way, yes, this is for those watching on YouTube. We're talking to her through a computer because she is in Vancouver, Canada.
I'm in Vancouver, Canada.
Yes. So we woke her up.
Or have I just never gone to sleep yet?
Oh, wow.
Hey, sometimes. So let's explain a little bit about you.
I'm born and raised in Vancouver. I have quite a musical background. I grew up with both my parents being musicians, so that's what I've been focusing on as of the last few months. Like, I guess quarantine, I started writing my own songs within the last 3 months. Yeah, I'm very much into holistic medicine, lifestyle, nutrition,
Definitely peep that.
photography, arts, all sorts.
So you're just a walking, living essence of a muse.
I guess.
Yes. What is it? Jane of all trades, master of none. Mm-hmm. Or, But yes, let's talk about your music real quickly because that's the first time I noticed you. I didn't realize. I actually listened to you twice. Once was with Fabian. He's been on the show before with us, and you did a song with him about the quarantine, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. And then one day we were chilling, and B puts on a song, and I'm like, "Yo, who is that? That's dope." He's like, "Oh, it's this." He told me the name, and I was oblivious. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe a little bit of too much alcohol, but anyways, the vibe of the music was so dope. And then he's like, "Oh, we have a guest." I'm like, "Okay, who?" He always tells me the guest, and it was you. I was like, "Oh, I'm super excited because you have an amazing voice."
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah,
voice.
to be honest, the notification came up on my screen and I accidentally clicked on it.
Oh yeah, it was live. I went live. I've been doing that as of lately. I just have been just playing my songs and just practicing because I do have an album that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that if I just practice all my songs at the same time and kind of transition them, which ones will fall together on the album, which order I want to put them in, which sounds good. So that's how I practice. But I'm like, you might as well just turn the live on and see what's up.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so like I said, I accidentally clicked on it and I was like, oh shit, I clicked on something. I didn't realize I clicked on it, and I was like, oh snap. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I accidentally clicked on it, but then I stayed. I was like, wow, that sounds really good. And I was listening to him. He was there, and his wife and my wife. And they're like, what are you listening to? I was like, oh, I just clicked on this video on accident. And I was like, it's amazing.
Yeah, we're roasting marshmallows.
Yeah.
That's what you do. So how long have you been doing music? I know you said it's been pretty much around your whole life, but how long have you been actually singing?
I've been singing since I can remember.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I knew I was like, I just want to be a singer, is I actually listened to Mariah Carey's emotions song.
God bless you.
I was like, I'm gonna be a singer.
And that's so Mariah Carey. That's the
Yeah, I think she's done that to probably millions of people. But yeah, that's. I don't know. I always grew up with music in the house. Like I grew up. My dad's from South Africa.
yeah.
My mom's Filipino.
Okay.
So I grew up with very like all sorts of music. Both of my parents were musicians. My mom was mostly like R&B, acoustic, but she also played keyboard as well. My dad was soul, funk, R&B, rock as well. He was in a band, a
Nice.
few bands. So I always grew up with so many different genres of music. Yeah, so always around music. I just love it.
That's what's up. So, and you also said photography. What is that? Because that's one of the questions there was when I was going through like my snooping was came across one of your pictures and I had to. It was the picture that caught me, but it was the caption that really made me want to bring it up. But before I get into the picture, what made you want to do photography?
I've always how do I put this? I don't know exactly what it was that made me want to take photography, but I think actually when I was younger, I guess like the old computers, I would always mess around with different photo editing styles
Okay.
on like the old old computers, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I could see something, this is how I'd want to portray it. How do I make that happen? So, and then I got introduced to cameras, and I started taking photography in high school and learning film photography, and also the new cameras that we have now. And yeah, I just learned the settings and went out one day and had projects I had to do, and I really enjoyed it, like learning how to express a story using a photo, whether it's like playing with light or fixing your aperture, or yeah, just different settings would definitely portray different moods that I was feeling. That it's like you're writing with a photo and you don't have to write anything. It's just you can portray its feelings and depths and pictures and tones, filters. So all those little details are so important to me when you're trying to express art. So
They do say if a picture's worth 1,000 words, so if you could capture it, it's amazing. The picture though that I was talking about, where is it? It's off your Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one where you have all the like the sparklies on you.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, but it was the really like that's my like I love art like that. I love like body loving art, expressing and but it was really the caption that really I wanted to bring it up, and I'm gonna read it off. Experiencing discrimination in various forms has shown me that categorizing people is like putting them in an imaginary box that limits them. One must break out of that box early before they believe it's real. And that was so deep because like my Instagram is unlock character, and the meaning behind it is that very meaning. It's like you have to unlock your character first before you're able to emerge to who you truly are. We're all balls of energy, and I like that you're holistic because you're on the same vibe length and everything, like the whole West, the medicine and stuff like that. So that's cool because I also peeped that. Guys, she's a crystal collector too. Surprise!
So many pictures of that too.
Oh man, yes, and so it was really breathtaking. But I loved that caption because I feel especially now, like with being quarantined and everything, everyone being stuck at home. Me and my brother-in-law had to talk about this, and we realized a lot of people really hate not wanting to be in their house because you have to deal with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
When you're
that's the one thing that's like COVID was such, as terrible as it is, and how as traumatizing as it is, it really forced people to be with themselves.
Exactly.
And me included. Like, I feel like maybe I had a little bit of an advantage because I've been traveling alone a lot for the last within the last 5 years, and having to do that by myself organically. So when I came back and the quarantine hit, which is the timing was absolutely insane. Like I got back and then 3 weeks started working again, and then we locked down again. I was like, oh well, I'm used to this lifestyle because I've been doing this for like 5 years. So I was like, I can imagine what it's like for people who work all the time to go from that to completely locked down in their house, and they have, you know, all these traumas and all these things that they've been through that, you know, our society is built to distract us from ourselves.
Correct.
So all these things that you've thrown over your shoulder and
yeah,
pay attention to, you're just right in your face.
Yeah.
And you can't get away from them.
Can't.
So it's like overwhelming, and I totally understand why people have been going crazy. They're just like having to rewire themselves, having to relearn how to sit with themselves and pay attention to how they're feeling, how the people around them are really feeling. You have no distractions anymore.
Yeah.
So
absolutely not. And that's why we're gonna also talk about your activism too, that we've seen. You know, right now with everything going on with Black Lives Matter, I think like it's hitting so hard now because no one's had anything to distract them but pay attention to themselves, and then really look at the world for what's really going on. You know, how much have we been like advertised the hell out of with all these brands and everything, you know, games and just entertainment across the board, and now we have nothing but ourselves to look back onto, and we have to realize like, oh shoot, like thank God for music.
This has been going on. It's not like it's anything new.
Correct.
You know?
You're absolutely right.
Just like, it's just, you know, it's just so accessible now, the media. So like we are our news, right? So we don't have to rely on Fox or up here all these like the most popular news reporters stations or whatever. We have Instagram, we have Twitter, and that's news. It's real news.
It's real, yeah.
And you can't deny it. You can't deny that. So when people are finally like their eyes are open and you see something like for real,
yeah, you're just seeing everything in real time.
It's crazy like how much media has hid so many things that happened around the world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's shifting for sure. It's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better.
Always, it has to.
Yeah.
The Phoenix effects, right?
I was gonna bring up something. Oh yeah, with the picture. It was interesting because when I did that photo shoot with that photographer who's in Vancouver now, he's a super talented. He's done photo shoots like the same project with many different people. I'll pass you his Instagram after.
Oh, cool, thanks.
And his project was based on discrimination, and this was right before this blew up. So he's like, if you could you write me something like about your experiences or what you think about discrimination? Like, think about the times you've been discriminated and what did you get out of that? And that's what I wrote, is that it was like being here in the Pacific Northwest as like a POC, and like growing up with my parents being like really grounded, but noticing that all the discriminations, like you must believe that you must take yourself outside that box before you believe that you're inside the box forever. Then you can't do anything.
You can't do anything, and
like,
it's sad.
Categorizing yourself when you don't have to be categorized. That limits you. And especially, I feel like I don't want to talk for everyone, just for me. It especially here. There's a really small Black community in Vancouver when I was growing up. So I was Black, but I wasn't Black enough, but I wasn't white,
and
white enough. I wasn't Asian enough.
Yeah.
My Asian side. So I was like, what is this box? I don't understand what categories.
I wanted to talk to you about that. I'm gonna cut you off. Sorry, we do that a lot. We cut you off only because we cut off a lot here. It's you being biracial, because I'm just like you. Like, my mom's from South America, my dad's Black. You know, I'm half Indian, like Indian. You know, and Black, which is also Native too, but the real thing, like you said, you're not Asian enough, you're not Black enough. Like, where do you fit in? Where was it? I wanted to ask you, like, where did you ever make a box for yourself, or did you always decide like, I am my own box and just did things your way? Or did you have to have that breakthrough first? Because I personally had to have a breakthrough first. I had to like a mental breakdown like in high school where it was just crazy.
Have you gotten over that yet?
I don't know.
Categorize myself as like mixed, and that's like not even really a category. Like, It's a, like mixed girl. I don't know, but when you like technically everyone's mixed. Like it doesn't make any sense.
You're absolutely 100% right, but I guess like when you really think about it, it's just all about culture. Like, what culture do you
I didn't
cling
grow
more
up
to?
Culturally Canadian either. Like whatever you want to call Canadian. I'm just really grateful that I had parents that were super connected to their roots, and there was no shame, except for unfortunately like a lot of cultures. Like I wasn't taught Tagalog, Filipino
Okay, yeah.
language, and that's just like its own internal racism. They don't want to pass down the native language. But other than that, like proud
Yeah.
parents.
That's what's up. You ever been back to the Philippines? You ever been there?
I did go to the Philippines with my mom when I was really little.
Yeah.
I do remember it though. It's crazy. Yeah, meeting so much family, just being in a super poor country and seeing how my mom grew up and like all my aunties and all my cousins. And yeah, it was super eye-opening. And I went to South Africa with my dad when I was younger too, met all my family. And yeah, just getting a sense of that culture when I was young, and like really checking like my privilege and my absolute privilege, like living here.
Yeah.
So that started when I was young too.
Philippines are nice though. My aunt's Filipino. One of my good friends, she's
No.
over there. Yeah. So it's funny.
I try to feed you. That's all I want to do.
The food's amazing. Yeah, but no, my aunt though, it was funny though, because when she came over here, she met my uncle through the military. He was in the Marines over in Cali, and they met. And then when they came back over here, she was just mainly around just us, just like black people. It was a long time before I realized like there was a difference. Like one day I was like, I asked my aunt, I was like, where are you from? You know what I mean? Because being young, you don't, you see black people different colors, stuff like that. Then I had to learn about the Philippines, and I was like, dope.
Yeah, and the first settlers in the Philippines they're called negritos, right? They're the Aita tribe.
Mhm.
ETA is like, and you look at them and they're black.
Do you embrace a lot of that?
My Filipino culture.
Yeah, like the tribal parts and everything.
I do.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was gonna. That's beautiful, by the way.
Nice.
Thank you. It was super well done. It was done here by a tattoo artist. Not a traditional tattoo artist, but I just needed someone who could definitely execute the details and the lines.
So not traditional. What do you mean, like a prison tattoo artist?
Well, pretty much.
Huh? I said, what do you mean, like a prison tattoo artist?
Oh no, like a traditional. It's called.
Oh, I thought you said not traditional. Oh, okay, I got you.
With the
little hammer and
does that hurt way more than a regular tattoo?
the word right now. Anyways, it'll come to me.
That hurts way more than a regular tattoo, doesn't it?
Yeah. So this side, if we want to get into details, this is my left side. So this is my feminine side, which is my mother's side. So all this whole side will be the Philippines, and then this whole side will be Africa when it's ready.
Dope.
This is my father's side.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's the right.
Details.
It's all about the details. Yes.
Details.
Yes.
Little things.
Little things. Now you've traveled a lot. We're gonna step into that. There's been a few places in Mexico that it's on my bucket list that you've been to. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
And now hearing that you've been traveling for 5 years, it's like, gosh, you probably have hit a lot of places. What's one place you tell us, what's one place that really touched you that you're like, if you had to tell the viewers watching, like one place that you would want them to go see for themselves?
I think I could say, and I have to be fair, like it's the places that I've spent the most time in.
Okay.
Because of course, if I go everywhere I'm going to fall in love with the place for different reasons. So people always ask me like, oh, what's your favorite place? I'm like, I honestly couldn't tell you that, but I think based on my experience and being there for long enough, it has to be the places that I've spent the most time in. So
Makes sense.
Mexico and Bermuda.
Really?
Yeah, I went to Bermuda. I did a huge trip last year. I flew to Bermuda, stayed there for almost a month, and then I flew to Miami, and I flew to Colombia, I flew to Panama, and then I flew back to Bermuda, and I stayed there for another month. So I like lived there for like 2 months, pretty much.
Wow.
So yeah, I did a triangle. And he was like, "Don't get lost in the triangle." I was like, I totally did get lost. I lost my brain. I did. I really, it's that place is so incredible. And when you think about it, it's not in the Caribbean. It's the closest thing to it is North Carolina. So it's in the middle. It's like in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And when I was Googling it before I went there, I was like, wow, I got like a little bit of anxiety. I was like, I'm going to like fly into the middle of the ocean. There's nothing around. There's no other surrounding islands.
Yeah.
And the vibe there is interesting because you can drive across the whole island in 2.5 hours.
Word.
So the poor, I don't know, minority, majority that live there, of course, are the black slaves that were brought over by the Portuguese in the 1600s.
Yep.
So there's a high population of blacks and Portuguese first, and then the British came over in the 1700s. So the whole island has like, of course, like as soon as I got there, it was like a resentful, and for good reason, resentful vibe. And it's such a high contrast. So it's like similar in my comparison to Vancouver, where you have like just absolute poverty and extreme rich.
Wow. So there's like really no middle. It's like a big difference is noticed.
There's no between.
Got you.
So are they
super poor or you're super rich?
Are they not like welcoming when you come down to Americans, or?
Oh, they're so welcoming.
Are they?
So welcoming. I mean, I got mistaken wherever I go. Like this is why.
Or
like,
Americans, Canada.
and, like you can't really figure out where I am from.
That's right.
When I go places, people just assume that I'm from there.
Awesome.
So people just thought I was Bermudian.
That works.
Like, yeah. What's the language in Bermuda?
I was just gonna talk about that.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
It's interesting. It's like a mix of patois, English, like British and American.
Oh, that is interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So they do have a Caribbean accent. They have an island vibe.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell when you talk to someone from Bermuda, you're like, that's not like a typical Caribbean, like it's something else. Yeah, super beautiful. I was absolutely blown away. Of course, it's like it's postcard beautiful. Like there's the whole thing is a beach, weird alien aquatic plants, and like very unique animals because it's like it's isolated for so long.
Amazing.
And yeah, I could talk about Bermuda.
So Bermuda's number one, and then we got Mexico, as Mexico's there too.
Yeah, I wouldn't say number one, but yeah, Mexico.
I'm just sorry. I'm not putting words in her mouth.
It's like when you ask me like what my favorite color is, or like what my favorite genre of music is, or I'm like, don't ask me dumb questions. I can't answer.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Mexico is, I think people, of course, because of media and because of, what we're taught, that we just we get a bad taste in our mouths when we think of Mexico. And that's like with a lot of countries. We're like, oh, don't go there, it's dangerous. I mean, The first time I was going on my first solo trip by myself, I chose Mexico. My dad was like, what? Going by yourself? I'm like, I'll be fine. I look like I could pass for a Mexican, so it's okay.
They tell you text them every hour.
The diversity of Mexico and its indigenous cultures and food is just absolutely incredible, and the music and the art is just so unique, and it's sitting on a place like the latitude on the earth where it's just so diverse. Like you can get the jungle, you'll get the desert, you get the Gulf of Mexico, and you get the Pacific.
Yeah.
Everything you could ever ask for. And the people are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Some of the best people I've ever met.
I believe it.
So let's get into so everything that's going on in the world, and you're an activist, right? So like how are things How are things out?
Weird to say because I've never really thought of myself like, I don't know, like that.
No?
But I guess it's in my blood.
I'll say it's
Like, my dad and his family from South Africa, and they're one of the first families that immigrated to Canada during the apartheid movement, and my family on my dad's side was very politically active.
Got you.
So I guess that it's just in my system.
So, everything that's going on over here, how's that affecting Canada? And I guess
It's definitely weird. I think I can't speak for places like Toronto, because we have it's more intense there because there's more people of color. There's more Black people. There is a higher Black population. And one of the biggest melting pots in the world is Toronto.
Correct.
And the police brutality there is just absolutely ridiculous. And I think, we have this preconceived notion when you think about Canada as being like this multicultural,
peaceful
land of like all is friendly, everything's good over here, but it's like no, like it kind of just does a really good job of like hiding it.
Really?
That's all it is.
Yeah, because there's especially like when you go look into like the Native Americans, how they're even treated over there.
Oh my god,
it's a big,
the same.
and
They're
that's
treated the same as Black people in the States.
Yeah, it's just it's horrible, and that's one of the things. Like shout out to my friends. He's a doctor out there. When he was explaining this to me, he said this is pretty much the same thing to you. Blew my mind away how Canada really is. It's not, we think it's like sorry and hey, everyone's friendly, but it's just like here. It's it's just like you said.
Also, like I feel like a lot. Again, I can't speak for like the East Coast, but with the West Coast, with Vancouver, like people just don't like confrontation here. Like we don't really talk about racism. Like it's just like no one talks. Like it doesn't happen here. It's like no, it happens here. You're just choosing to turn a blind eye.
Yeah, so now that like pretty much, here in the U.S. we're really becoming extremely strong and vocal about it. It seems like it's like rippled across, the whole world.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? Like you see defunding the police
biggest movement in the world.
Exactly, and like, have you experienced racism firsthand?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I'd say like in Vancouver, it's again like when I was growing up, like I was like one of the like 3 Black people in my school.
Yeah.
And like same with my sisters, and she went to school with like thousands of kids. So it's more like in Vancouver and like even in a smaller town like Burnaby, it's more like microaggressions. So therefore,
yes,
there's more room to like gaslight you. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
It's not like straight up racism.
Correct. It's like here in New England. Like it's like here with us. It's the same thing. It's the microaggression where it's like we're gonna tell you you're a you're a nigger without saying you're a nigger. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
For sure.
You know, because we don't keep it politically nice.
Yeah, just like weird things where it's like. When you come across someone that's racist, as a person of color, you have this thing inside your stomach that goes, that's racist.
Yeah.
But it's just like burning inside you, and then you don't know how to go about it because it's not direct. So you say something, and then they're like, "Oh, that's not really what I meant," or you're gaslighting you, like telling you that you're crazy.
Yeah.
And then I feel like when that happens, it happened often with me. So I was just like, oh, that's just how that is.
That's exactly.
That's how things are.
And that's so sad.
You just normalize it.
You normalize it, and I think that's what a lot of things are. Because there's some things now I'm looking back at. I'm like, wow, this guy's really he's not really a nice guy, but you put up with it so much, and it got me thinking about like with the police and everything. Because I've seen a lot of guys who were friends in high school and now they're cops and they're like douchebags. Some are, some aren't, don't get me wrong, but I feel it's like that good old boy. Like you think about it, your first time on the job, you want to be a cop all your life, so you want to prove yourself, and the first horrible thing you do, right, no one tells you it's wrong. They don't pull you, they say good job.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to, like you said, no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
So now you have cops who started off good now falling into these same routines because it's actually being like promoted more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the whole system is founded off of like violence and hate.
Yes.
So, and like the system it's built it's built on hate. It's meant to protect it and use it as like the number one they think is as a solution, right?
Now, is that, we're going to go back to your music. Does a lot of your music stem from your experiences in life, or is it just how you feel right there and then when you're about to sing? 'Cause I know you said you just started writing.
Mm-hmm. Of course they're life experiences, but I feel like when I was writing, I'm like, okay, what do I want people to feel? And the first few were it needs to be uplifting. Like, we've all gone through depression in our own ways. Like, what would I want to hear? And so when I was writing the first couple of songs, it was like just like reassurance, or like things that you can sing to yourself or sing to other people. Just give like a loving reassurance that I feel like, you know, we're not, we don't get enough.
Yeah.
And especially like, you know, humans are emotional creatures by nature, and our emotions are there for a reason. They're necessary for human survival.
That's what separates us from being animals. Yes.
And taught us that emotions are a sign of weakness. So I like wanted to write songs that were like uplifting.
So do you see yourself like a
darker stuff later?
I was gonna ask because, you know, you have that vibe, like you have like, you know, some dark, you know, like you could really go in. Yeah. I'm not saying you're crazy, because I learned never to call a woman crazy, you know.
Yeah, but that's exactly the same thing as like men are ashamed when they show any sort of emotion. When women are called crazy when they show too much
emotion. Yep.
But yeah, with the dark side, I'm so curious of like what you see there.
Like, it's funny because when you said like, okay, so scrolling through everything, like watching, you know, everything, listening to a lot of your songs and stuff like that, like there's a lot of emotions behind it, but I feel like you also have like this fierce, like anger emotion to come out, but it hasn't come out in your music, but you could tell it's there, it's behind it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just like I said, this is just my opinion off of your Instagram and just being a creeper.
So interesting. I find that so interesting with like, it's so amazing that you can portray yourself on social media, but vibes like go a long way, and you can't hide.
You can't hide vibes, and I think if you're an in tune person and you know yourself, you don't see life as you see it anymore. You see auras, you see energy, and that regardless of what, like you said, it radiates. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you think some people don't like their pictures taken because they understand at that moment that energy wasn't good. I don't ever want to look back at that picture. You know, the story of Dorman Gray was actually, you know, it actually talks about that. It's pretty much like if a picture could take on everything physically and hateful that you feel on the inside, but you still stay pure. Can you imagine how your picture would look? Like right now in life, if you were told to, like, you know, draw yourself, how would we draw ourselves? Hits the blunt.
We'd be so much more critical.
Exactly. But like you said, this is what, like, you know, the whole quarantine's taught me. It's just really made me realize, like, we're distracted so much that we're slowly forgetting ourselves. And now,
disconnected, you know, so disconnected. And, you know, like we're made up to work, pay our bills, follow the rules,
and repeat.
And we're disconnected. That's what it is. When you disconnect animals, which we are, from nature, what do you think? We all have mental illness. Why? Like, it's so simple.
It's very simple.
We're meant to be living in harmony with everything else.
Exactly.
We're the only creatures on this planet that pay money to exist.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I look at my cat every day and hate her. It blows your mind away.
I actually noticed that when I was traveling too, you know, like I'm pretty like low maintenance traveler, and it really showed me how little humans need.
Like exactly.
I was like, I don't need shit. Like, I just need a place to sleep. I need food and water.
That's it.
literally all I need. And I know, love, like connection. Humans need to like connect.
Can we talk about some love connection? Is there a love connection in your life?
I have lots, and like, I don't know if I could be specific because when you say love connections, there's love in so many different forms.
Correct. So let's be specific. Is there somebody that you're courting or dating right now? Are you single?
No, I'm single.
You're single?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Folks, she's single, folks. That's for ladies and gentlemen too. We don't discriminate here.
And I'm not looking.
Oh. So pretty much she's saying get out of her DMs. That's you hear that? That's millions of men crawling out right now. That what's up, ma?
I'm in a relationship with myself.
That's the best relationship to be in it.
You should always be in a relationship with yourself, right? It's you first. And again, like with our society, we are taught that we are not complete until we have somebody else. And that's totally
absolutely wrong. And I blame Disney for that. And I have no, for real. Yeah. I have a long thing. Disney, because
it's a colonial way of
it is. It's that growing up thinking like
patriarchy.
Yeah.
Controlling of people that you should live your life a certain way in your box, in the freaking box that we were talking about before that limits you.
I hate that box. That box horrible.
I've also been like I'm interested in like human evolution and like tribal studies and the way that civilizations used to work and like the family nucleus. And
oh my gosh!
Different aspects.
Gotta ask you this then.
Tribalism and people. So a really good book an audiobook that I've been on and off reading for a while is it's called Sex at Dawn: Human Sexual Evolution. That's a
good book, by the way. Please finish it, and then we'll talk about it.
It gives you such a good insight on like the natural processes of humans and how we are naturally as animals, how we work, how we run as a tribe, how we keep each other safe, how we contribute to the survival of our people, and that's how it works.
And we could do it all, folks, without paying taxes or slaving away from a 9 to 5 or blah blah blah. Yeah. There's a way of living out there that's just so much simpler than what we're taught.
Yeah, for sure. And we had so many different hidden civilizations where all the history is like burned, like all these books.
Oh, of course. That's what welcome to Christianity. You burn everything, give them something else, and then that way they forget because when you don't know where you belong, you're derooted from who you are naturally.
Sure. Unfortunate, but I feel people are we're way more aware of it now. Like I have so many friends that are they're polyamorous.
Explain that term.
About their lives because they understand.
Wait, hold on. You're going too fast. Real quickly, can you explain that term for the folks polyamorous? Before they think
polyamorous, so in having more than one partner. If that like sums it up, like
no, it does. But I just want to do that because we're gonna be having a special about that with yours truly.
Yeah. So there's so many different dynamics with what a relationship is. When you think like, what is a relationship? What is marriage? What is that? And like, how does that apply to everyone's life? Because there's people are so different, like I don't expect polyamory to work for everyone. Of course it's not going to work for everyone, but
it gives you a better but it gives you a better option. You know what? It's so funny because when you come here to become a United States citizen, one of the questions they ask you is, do you believe in polygamy? And it's like, well, what does that have to do with me coming here and about to pay you all my life salary? Yeah, they do. They want it because they don't think because in the States it's remember the United States is built off of a quote unquote Christian society by the forefathers and everything, which was then translated. Because the thing is, once you control you control the population by controlling what they do. You know what I mean? And when people don't all fit in the same box, we're gonna say we're not we're not cut out, but yet throughout time and pretty much with the education system, we're taught like that's wrong. We're taught that you're supposed to be, stay with one person all your life, where I have yet to see a relationship where I've seen that. Even in movies, they don't do that.
if you force a way of life on beings that aren't supposed to live that way, why do you think divorce happens so much? Why do you think people cheat all the time?
Or people are depressed and end up offing themselves.
You're suppressing humans from what they're naturally supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So how did you and Fabian connect?
Actually through my sister. So my sister, I think, had found him on 90s Hip Hop Junkie.
Interesting.
And followed him for a while, and then told me like, hey, listen to this artist, he's amazing. So I started following him, and I was like, wow, he's like super talented. And we're so used to now, again, like just shitty rap music.
Shout out to Faye making it Vancouver.
I can't handle it. So it was very refreshing, and whenever I listened to his music, I was like, yes, this is on point. It's like amazing. And like just like as a lyricist, as a writer, so much respect. And the connection that he has with his family, and his talking about his experiences, like where he's living, just such amazing ability to execute. And he's like a sponge, like he just absorbs his surroundings and puts it and expresses it in a way that's, you will feel it, you'll understand what he's going through, you can see it, and it's art.
Is your sister a musician too?
Ridiculous. Sorry?
Is your sister a musician too?
My sister's a musician too. She was singing for a while, yeah.
So how many people are in your how many siblings do you have altogether?
It's just me and my sister.
And you guys, oh nice. So you guys ever do a song together? Think of doing a song together or anything like that?
I have thought about it, but like when she was in music, I was younger, and I was still very shy. Like I wasn't ready, and I was very shy. I had a hard time singing in front of even like my friend. And I can say now it's a lot different. Like I said, I was up till 4 this morning at my friend's house jamming with like a bunch of people, and it's good practice. And I just needed to do that more and get over like the insecurity and the fear of I guess it was mostly like a fear of like messing up, like when I'm singing in front of people, but it happens.
How many instruments do you play? I know you play the guitar.
I play the vocal cords really good.
I do that sometimes in the shower.
I grew up, I played a little bit of like piano, keyboard when I was younger. Not too much. Played saxophone.
Which one?
Alto.
I played the tenor.
My dad's a sax player. He's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
He has music out?
He doesn't, but I'm thinking that he's probably going to be doing a lot of the guitar on the album that I'm working on.
Nice.
As he's so talented, and I'm so grateful, like in so many aspects of my life, with music, with like education, with culture. He's just like, he's my favorite person in the whole world.
Yes. Now, rumor has it too, is today your dad's birthday?
Today's my dad's birthday.
Yes, happy birthday to your pops.
Happy birthday.
So yeah, I have to go get some. I'm gonna make a tropical fruit salad. That's what I was asked to do. Go
Nice.
and have a barbecue and hang out, and yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So it is your father's birthday, so we'll let you go. You want to say anything to the people?
Where can they find your music? Where can they find you? Can you please let them know?
Yeah. Right now I'm still working on the album, so it's not on like platforms yet, but I have like some of the demos of my songs on Instagram. So my Instagram it's probably confusing to a lot of people. It's Anak ng Lupa, which means like Earth Child in Tagalog. That's
what I was gonna add. Yeah.
Yeah. So ANAKNG.
Don't worry, we'll put it under.
No, but still have her spell it out, just in case for people who can't read.
Yeah. So.
But do you want to
on right now? Yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm trying to do the best I can with finding like the right producers to execute what I hear on my album. But
one more thing too.
R&B focused.
You have I wanted to ask this, and can't believe this. This was the biggest thing I love too. Maiko Medicine Maker. Can you explain that a little bit? You have it on your Instagram.
Oh, wow, yeah. I was actually thinking about that. I was like, if we're gonna leave before I say it, should I say something about this? So mushrooms have been a part of my life since I was like 19, and everything from from psilocybin mushrooms to other medicinal mushrooms, and have been scientifically proven to enhance brain and like cognitive function, immune function, everything. So when I started making my own medicine for myself, noticing amazing benefits, but not having sources to find the reasons why they were benefiting me, like scientifically. And now that it's all coming out, it's all making sense. And I'm like, of course it's making sense. I have to share this with people. I have to share this with everyone that I know.
Yeah. So you're a believer in psychedelics.
Sorry?
You're a believer in psychedelics and everything like that as well?
Yeah, I'm really associated with the plant medicine world, the plant medicine community in Vancouver.
Nice.
So that was what my last trip to Mexico was based on. It was for a research trip of my own.
Correct.
And I guess we can get into that another time. But yeah, just learning the practices in like a summarization, like my trip to Mexico was going to a certain town where I would learn practices and ceremonial uses of psilocybin to connect you to the earth, connect you to yourself as a human, connect you to everyone and everything around you, and your relationships to your spiritual self and the whole world. So I was able to take part in 2 very different ceremonies and experience their way of life, and spending time with Indigenous people from there, learning how they live and how important it is to have that connection at a young age. And that also helps me with my medicine compounding in the future, like how I'm going to facilitate, if I want to take it into facilitating and holding space for people, or if it's just making microdoses for supplements that help everyday use for like cognitive function. So lots of research on that end. That was pretty cool.
Amazing. No, I'm gonna have to touch base with you, because that's I'm doing this 8-year journey right now, and that's pretty much where the basis is I'm growing to learn to be pretty much herbalist, shamanism, and everything like that too. I've been thinking
mushroom is like my absolute favorite. It's the safest thing that we can use, and it's been proven to be safer than cannabis.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. And how, I don't know, maybe I'll nerd out with you again.
No time, not now. No, I know we have to go.
All right.
But
so before we wrap this up, is there any message you want to throw out into the world?
Because the world's listening. Tell them
that we really need to come together in this time, and that we need to focus, that the people in power as of right now are focused on segregating and keeping us apart, and we need to keep that in mind. They're designing all the systems to keep us apart, so we need to work harder to make sure we stay together, to make sure that we connect deep with each other, and really connect to see that we're all the same. Like we have our distinct differences, and it's beautiful, but we're all human, and we all feel the same things, and we need to do our part to make sure that we all have like equal, we all need equity and equality and like a way better future, because this is not working. What's going on is not working.
It's not working, folks.
But all right.
I hope I worded that right.
It's pretty good. But
everyone just love each other.
Cut it out and love each other, and then take some shrooms.
Yeah, and I do really believe that's like another thing, is like the criminalization of psychedelics, the tools that we can use to expand our minds is taken away from us, because if we all had access to explore our minds, none of this shit would be happening.
None of it.
Such thing as like racism.
No, because you wouldn't know about the vision, because you would see the unity. But that is for another time. Hopefully we can make it up there and see Vancouver and like do at a coffee shop or something.
Of course. Let me know when you're up here. I'd love to show you around the city.
That'd be amazing. Yeah. But all right, everyone. Thank you. Follow us once again on Let's Talk Us Now, Facebook, Instagram. Listen to us on Spotify, Google, Apple, and everywhere else. Watch us on YouTube. I'm Benny.
It's Maverick.
And our special guest,
Ja.
Ja.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being on there, and keep it up. Stay blessed.
Yeah, that was cool.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice meeting you as well. Have a good day. Tell your dad happy birthday for us.
Happy birthday to you.
All right.